Bring your heels onto the floor in front of you with your knees bent. Like this. Then we're going to come into what I call Pigeon 1990. It's got a lot of different names to it. Bring one leg to the side, the other knee to the sole of the foot. Here's what we're going to try and do. Bring both our sit bones down onto the floor. You might feel like this knee wants to lift up. This might feel like garbage for a little bit. This hip might feel like, oh, it's really tight. Take some breaths in. You could also make the gap a little bit wider if it really feels like your hips are tight. It helps a bit, doesn't it, to make it a little bit wider. You want to kind of like be thinking, can I close that gap in like 6 months? Well, for now, it's fine to have it a little bit wider. Then what I want us to do is to lift the chest up. Notice how that makes it awful as well, because there's a tendency to sink in here. Lift the front of the chest up. Bring the arms out in front. That also helps you lift the chest up. Let's stay here for a few breaths because this is a good position again for the hip. Is anybody in pain? Is everybody okay in this position? No, and that's okay. You know, eventually you might come to sitting upright. I don't for like hip weird reasons, but it's still cool to be in this position. That's okay. I've got to. Yeah, fine. I've been doing this position for like 10 years. Then what we're going to do, bring the arms down, swing your legs to the middle, maybe give them a little bit of a wiggle, and then swing them the other direction. And then the whole process of trying to sit your hips down onto the floor starts again. Be like, oh, this sucks again. It's worse on this side for me. Look at that, I'm mad too. Like there's a gap here. Like, I could put my foot under. But it's fine. We don't sit in this position in the West, but it's really good for us to do it. So feel for getting your sit bones in there. Chest lifts up because that makes it, try and forces that sit bone down, and the arms come up. We'll stay in here for a few. Again, you can adjust this gap as well. It helps. It's weird. People say it actually makes it harder because it changes the sense of balance forward for people. But I think it actually helps you to lift the chest up and have the arms up. Yeah, for sure. Then come back into the middle. Oh, give your hips a bit of a shake. How's everybody's hips feel? Hip release sequence. Well, yeah, we'll do a seated hip release sequence in Baddha Konasana. So, bitten by an insect there. Bring the soles of your feet together so you're in Baddha Konasana. Lift the chest up again. So this idea of lifting the chest up. Find your left hand. Put the left hand on the left thigh. On the inside left thigh. Right hand comes onto the floor by the right hip. Then what you're going to do here is you're going to slowly apply pressure here. Not like going mad on it, not going into pain point. If you're hypermobile and your leg touches the floor anywhere, no, nobody's hypermobile, I think, enough for that. I think there's only one person I know who can, like, their leg just touches the floor. But what we can do here, even if we're not hypermobile, is that we can press the thigh into the hand and hand into the thigh. So we're creating a little bit of pressure here. Press hand into thigh, thigh into hand. Big breath in, keep pressing, big breath out, keep pressing, and then slowly release the leg pressure. And you might find your leg goes a little bit closer towards the floor. It's a weird little trick, that. Inhale, lift the front of the chest up again. Exhale, drop the shoulder blades down. To get out of this, you slowly release the pressure on that leg. They never taught us that in training. They just said, you take the pressure off, you saw people go boing to one, like, because, like the hips store a lot of pressure on them. And just letting that boing happen. It's not good, so let it go slowly. Let's do that on the other side. Stir, right hand on the inside of the right thigh, left hand comes down by the hip here. Slowly starting to apply pressure. Your hips, this is one of the places you're going to feel like, I'm not symmetrical, because it'll be different because of the way we lead with one leg versus the other, the way we were in the womb, the way we were when we when we were born, the nappies we wore, all that kind of stuff will change our hips and we'll be different on one side to the other. So don't feel like, oh, I've got to get it down in the same spot as the other one. Nobody's leg is touching the floor, so that's kind of like we can do the same thing again. Take a breath in, press the thigh into the hand, hand into the thigh, so you're activating the inner leg line. Keep doing that for a couple of breaths. Lift the chest up. And then exhale, slowly release the thigh pressure, so you're just back into arm pressure on the thigh, and you might find it moves a little bit. Slowly release the pressure. Ooh. Give your hips a little bit of a wiggle. Give your legs a bit of a wiggle too. And if you want to ever wiggle if you're ever going, I wish I could wiggle my kind of like the ball socket joint in your hips. Imagine you're rolling your knees from side to side. That'll do it, because like most people do this and that doesn't do anything up here. If you roll your knees from side to side, you're really getting into the hips, into the hip joint. Yeah, so certain things to move every day. Definitely like straightening out joints, like the elbow here, like every day. Moving the neck side to side, up and down, that's always good. Shoulder blades. So many people have shoulder blade pain. Shoulder pain because the shoulder blade doesn't move. So this joint here, the glenohumeral joint, has to do all the work. Like imagine if your shoulder blade didn't move and it also do that. It's not designed for that. So again, the shoulder blade to move back and forth. Let's do actually a few different shoulder blade things while we're sitting down actually, because the shoulder blade's supposed to move in different positions. So first thing you want to do is take a big breath in, lift the shoulder blades up, and then bring them forward. Take a breath in with them forwards, maybe even bring the arms forward, and imagine you're trying to reach further forward. Then breath in, press forward, let the shoulder blades come down. Big breath in. This time, bring the arms up, bring the shoulder blades back. So notice here that my torso is not moving, but my arms are going back. That's because this movement here, all in the shoulder blade. So bring them back, squeeze the middles of your shoulder blades together, squeeze, 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 squeeze. Exhale, relax the shoulder blades. So shoulder blades go back and forth. Next thing they do is they go up and down. So we'll do the ups and downs. Big breath in, shoulders come up, squeeze them up to your ears. Then exhale, drag them all the way down. You might hear like Rice Krispie sounds there. Mine sounds like there's a whole snap, crackle, and pop going on in there. So we've gone up and down, go forward and backwards. The other thing the shoulder blades do is they do this. They do rotation up, rotation down. The easiest way to do rotation up, big breath in, arms come up. Like that. Reach for the sky with your arms, and then come down, make a sweeping circle like this. Pressing through your fingers as you're going along. Do that one more time. So, arms come out in front. Or you can make fists if you want, because this is like the boxer's move, this one. So, big breath in, push forward. Notice how that reach you're getting. Keep pushing, keep pushing, keep pushing, keep pushing. Exhale, relax the shoulders. Hands out in front or fists out in front, pull them back. Big breath in, keep pulling back. Squeeze the shoulder blades together. Squeeze, 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 squeeze. Exhale, relax the muscle. So this is that movement that you did here. Next one we're going to do is we're going to bring them up. So big breath in, bring them up, 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 up. Drag them up to the ears. And then exhale, drag them down as far as you can go. You're using your lat muscles to pull them down. So you might feel the muscles at the side pulling them down. And then let them go. Rotation next. Inhale, arms come up. Reach up through the arms. Reach up, reach up, reach up. Exhale, make a big circle. And then give your shoulders a bit of a wiggle. They feel good? Feel different at least? One other one that's kind of cool to do here is you see people like when they're like warming up, they do this one here. Like they bring this arm across the body and then they bring this arm like up here. And they do this one and they go like, this is warming up. This actually really doesn't do that much at all. It's really kind of weird. A better one to do is to bring the hand onto the shoulder like this and then take hold of the back of your elbow. and then bring that across. Different, isn't it? Yeah. This one here, like I've seen somebody pop a rotator cuff doing this. It was really cool. Like it was a ping sound, which is why I don't like it, because it's a weird position. This is better. And then relax that arm. Other one, hand onto the shoulder, bring this hand behind, and then drag that elbow across. Does it feel good? And then bring it back to the middle. I'm going to do one more specially for you here because of this. If you feel like you're doing this movement here, which weirdly enough is the anterior deltoid, because your deltoid's 3 positions here, but it's also this bicep muscle here. So what this muscle here does is, if you think about lifting your arm up like this, if you come up into this position here and then carry on going up, and then bring the forearm or the hand onto the back of the head, and then bring the elbow out, then bring the elbow back to the middle, so it's facing forward, bring the elbow down, straighten the elbow, and then bring the arm all the way down. We do that one more time. So the arm comes up, you bend the elbow, the hand comes onto the back of the head, the elbow goes out to the side, you feel this area here stretching, and it comes back down to the center line, arm straightens out, and you want to straighten out the arm all the way. One of the reasons we get a lot of tendonitis in the bicep is we're in this curved position the whole time. Let's do the other side. So, straighten out the arm, bend the elbow, arms come up, hand comes on the back of the head, bring the elbow to the side, elbow comes back facing forward in center line, straighten the arm out, arm comes down. One more, bring the arm up, bend the elbow, elbow keeps going up, hand on the back of the head, elbow out to the side, bring it up to the middle again, and then straighten it out, and then bring it back down. Give yourself a bit of a wiggle. Tendonitis up here is quite common, tendonitis at the top here. Does that feel better? It's putting it through this range of motion, especially when you're doing repetitive motions that go through very, very limited range of motions. Best thing that is like a counteraction to any repetitive motions is to go through a full range of motion, because that then teaches the body of like, because you see a lot, we live in this phase here, with this place where the hands are like this, the elbows are bent, the shoulders are up, and we never straighten things out. And so getting into this full range of motion is like, I love that. But let's forget about full range of motion and just do Shavasana. Because you've all worked really hard today. You might feel like, God, some of that felt really hard, because it is. We're not used to doing it. But I would say, it's not yoga, it's mobility, but it's well worth spending time doing it.